everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute and I have missed you. So much has happened, and I'll probably get into that in a later video, but I am super excited to be back on the channel to start to do some reviews. So I've been super deep into so many different things: books, podcasts, study guides, all these things that have been really edifying to my faith. And I want to take some time throughout the channel just to review some really great resources that I hope can be edifying to you too, and to build you up. And so today we are going to be talking about this course that I did through the Jude 3 project called Through the Eyes of Color. So I'm super excited to talk about this online curriculum, or you can get a physical set of books as well if you want to do it actually like on printed paper. And I think this can be a really great opportunity, especially if you are a Black person or a person of African descent, or someone who really wants to learn more about how the Christian faith has interacted with this particular group of people in the world. This is a really great tool and a really good starting point to deepen your study. So a brief overview of the Jude 3 project, their mission, and I want to make sure I'm going to read this so I can get it right. So the primary mission of the Jude 3 project is to help the Christian community know what they believe and why they believe it. Distinctive in its strong emphasis is equipping those of African descent in the United States and abroad. So the Jude 3 project was founded by Lisa Fields and is really focusing on making sure your apologetics, or the art of defending the Christian faith, is strong, especially for people of African descent, who often we get a lot of criticism about, Christianity being the white man's religion, and really being able to be equipped with being able to accurately argue for and defend the faith. Jude 3 project is based off the scripture Jude 3, which is often a scripture that is used to talk about the importance of apologetics. And I'm going to read to you real quick so you can, put that in your memory bank. Oh, before I read this, I'm also going through this Jude study with Jackie Hill from Jackie Hill Perry. I likely will do a review on this after I finish studying with a group of sisters in the faith. So keep an eye out for that. So Jude 3 reads, "Beloved, although I was very eager to write to you about our common salvation, I found it necessary to write appealing to you to contend for the faith that was once for all delivered to the saints." So the book of Jude is like one of the shortest books in the Bible. It's really talking about making sure we're able to defend the faith against false teachers and false prophets. And so as you can see, connection, Jude 3 project, so on and so forth. So the Jude 3 project does a lot of great work. They have a podcast that's super dope, a lot of great interviews with different theologians, pastors, faith leaders throughout the community on all different types of topics. So you should check that out. They also have a blog, they have merch, they have this curriculum. They also, back when we were pre-COVID, doing a lot of tours to HBCUs and really building with Black students. So they're doing a lot of important work in this area, and you should definitely support their work. And it's Black led. Like, hello, it's Juneteenth forever. We're Black led over here in everything that we do, right? So definitely check them out at jude3project.org. So why did I decide to do this course? So I was in the first wave of COVID in my house for maybe like a month and a half on my own, and the fire me and God was having was just, it was percolating. So I had a lot of energy to just study. I came across this curriculum that was actually on sale. The online curriculum is like $50, but it was on sale for half off, and I was like, why not? Let me just get into this. And I realized that I haven't really taken a lot of time, even though I am a Black person, I'm proud to be Black, and I'm a woman of God, I'm created in His image. I haven't really taken a lot of time to reconcile the two, in a sense. And so I figured this would be a great opportunity for me to dig deeper into how I see myself as a Christian, as well as how I see myself as a Black person, and how the two do align and they don't disagree or conflict with each other in the ways in which popular culture may say they do. I also realize that I have a lot of relationships with people who aren't Christian, and I want to be able to have like actual fruitful conversations and lead them as a believer in a way of leading with love, but also with information and knowledge. And I just was genuinely curious about what this curriculum had to offer. I feel like it looked like it was presented at an easy pace to go along, and sometimes you can get so overwhelmed with your curiosity, and everybody's like, read this book, this book, this book, this book, this, and it becomes like you're overwhelmed by all the resources. So this felt like a really introductory way to get into this conversation. So this is what I really liked about the course. It is self-paced. So online, you can go at your own pace and at your own time. So I started in April, finished early July. Took me a few months based on life stuff. So I really like that. There are reflection and discussion questions embedded throughout the curriculum, and it allows you to interact with other people who are doing the online curriculum and comment or read their answers. And so having some level of interaction, even though you may do it by yourself. And also, if you want to do it online with a group, you're able to buy as a group. You know, you all buy individual access, but you can complete together as a group, which is really nice, right? It's also a lot of different media. So there are readings, there are podcast episodes, videos, there are midterm and final assessments along with the discussion questions. So I do think, and practice opportunities to practice different skills. And so there's a lot of different ways you can engage your learning and different ways of learning in this curriculum that I really like. In addition, with each module at the end, there's a tools for going deeper optional list of resources. And so that was super, super helpful when it comes to building what could be my potential library if I want to dig deeper in a particular topic. I have already bought some texts from some of those tools, and I intend to probably buy some more as I go deeper into my study. And so you don't just have to stop there because the information, I would say, is very introductory in the curriculum itself. It's really great, but it's still introductory. And so if you want to get really deep, definitely look at those tools for going deeper and get some of those books that are on that list. Okay, so at this point, I'm gonna walk through the major modules. There are 6 of them, and just give my top of the line thoughts and reflections for each module. Don't want to get too deep because if you like it, you should buy it because we're gonna support Black business, okay? So the first module is called What is Hermeneutics? I know, big words. I'm gonna explain. So hermeneutics is essentially the art and science of biblical interpretation. So that's a whole body of work that's really focusing on how can we sit with the scriptures and interpret them in a meaningful way. And I really think this was a really great introduction to the module, mainly because before we can even have conversations about is Christianity a white man's religion, we as Christians need to be able to walk through the Bible and really understand the scriptures themselves. And so that is a really great introductory to that topic and gives you some opportunity to practice. One of the tools for going deeper is A Layperson's Guide to Biblical Interpretation by Luke Brad Bobo. I bought this and I have been slowly walking through and doing some practice so that I can deepen my skill set, and I have been really loving this process overall. I've been in the Beatitudes for like a week and a half and barely scratched the surface, and it's just been building my curiosity for the scriptures. And so I really do appreciate starting the course, really rooting ourselves, and before we have all of these lofty theological topics, let's get good on how to sit with the scriptures, the living word, the chief authority that we are referencing when we talk about our faith. So the next module is called Black People in the Bible. This module was super encouraging because, you know, I hadn't really thought about where are African people in the Bible. I never really explored that topic, though I knew intuitively that God, you know, thought of us as a people, and we've been here for thousands of years, so there must be some imprint in the scriptures, but I never really took the time to look into it. And so this module really goes into that and talks about how both in the Old and the New Testament, African people have been a part of the biblical narrative. And so if you're someone who's really interested in getting into that topic and also going to tools for going deeper into that, you should definitely spend a lot of time researching some of the biblical figures that come up in this module. So the next module is on early African Christianity, which really goes into early church history primarily, and talking about how essentially in the formation of the Christian faith, African people were very core and central to that. And some of the chief theologians that we may even talk about in the early church history, we don't even fully recognize their ethnicity and that they are African people. I was also introduced to an amazing scholar, Dr. Vince Bantu, through this module. And, I think some of his lectures from Jude 3 was a part of this module. And I've been on a tangent, just watching a whole bunch of his stuff. I also bought this book that everybody is raving about. I want to make sure it's like showing up. But A Multitude of All Peoples. This book... Woo, Chile. This book is getting into it and just really talking about how Christianity being a white man's religion is just like, no, it's BS. It's BS. It's not real. And people of multiple ethnicities have been a part of the formulation of Christian theology from the very beginning. And so y'all need to get that book because that book is high. Everybody is raving about it. Y'all gotta go get it. Also, I'm going to make sure I put all of this in the description so you know where to get the book, where to get the resources, making sure that you are building up your faith, okay? So the next module was talking about the contributions of the Black church. And I was a little bit more familiar with this because I studied African-American history, African-American studies in college. And I was aware of how the church has been a central social and political institution since our time here in the United States. It was the first social institution that we were able to control ourselves. But this goes even deeper. It just talks about how the church has been able to be a real threat in educational, financial, social, political institutions, and some of the core leaders over these past, few hundred years since we've been on United States soil, who have been central in building up the faith here in the United States and also building up the Black community here. And there was some great interviews that highlight that and some great resources. There's some really great scholars doing work in that area. And so if you're really interested in getting into the Black church history, specifically in the era of American history, check out this module and really get into those extra resources. All right, so the first few modules were all the cute stuff. Now this is where all the hard stuff comes in. So the next module is talking about engaging Black cults. And cults can be like a really hard word to address, but essentially religions in the Black community that are really mainly Black centric. And so this made me very nervous because I'm very conflict avoidant. But I feel like it's still very important to make sure you're educated, make sure that you understand these communities and understand these religions and how they have contributed to building some type of identity for Black people at a time where we have been very much identity stricken, that we have had a lot of identity stripped away from us. And so this goes into, things, a lot of it is focused on Hebrew Israelites in particular. A little bit goes into the Nation of Islam, Khmerism, Pan-Africanism, which is like you could be Christian and Pan-African. It just depends on how you lean into it, things like that. And so if that's something of interest of you, you can definitely check that out. Like I said, I probably use this more for information purposes. Being an apologist is not really my desire in life. So I'm just going to put it in the memory bank, pull it out for later. Then finally, to end the course, the last module is called Places of Contention. So this is talking about dealing with very difficult topics or difficult biblical narratives. And particularly, it talked about women's roles in the Bible and slavery in the Bible. And I really think what was very valuable were the podcast episodes with the different scholars. I think the one for women was with Dr. Joe Vitale, who is with the Ravi Zacharias International Ministries, rest in peace. And then the one on slavery was with Dr. Esau McCauley, who I know has a really great book on African American, I think, biblical interpretation coming out later on in the fall. And I really did love those conversations in particular, and how we really need to sit with the Old Testament and its context and the purpose of the law a little bit more intentionally. And so I really think that was what I took away from it. There's also some really other great conversations and practice questions and things of that nature that you can get out of it as well. So as I wrap up my review of this video, I just want to say this is a really great resource. I feel like I probably would have even gotten more out of it if I did it with a group. So I really encourage, if you want to get into this study, maybe you want to pull together a couple of friends and do it together, and really focus on those conversations that you can have with each other to build each other up. I think that would be really great. It really scratches the surface. This is 101. And so those tools for going deeper are very essential if you want to really get deeper. And so I really encourage you to take advantage of those tools for going deeper. Like, don't expect for this curriculum to teach you everything you need to know. This is really just a starting point to inspire you, to give you some resources, some things, some arguments that you can lean upon, but you have to make this curriculum work for you. You really have to work it when it comes to continuing to build up your knowledge and your skill set to be able to do that work. Case in point, the biblical interpretation, the hermeneutics module, I will tell you that it's a very good introduction. I'm getting so much more by taking advantage of those tools for going deeper, like Dr. Bobo's book, for example. So if you are really interested in the content in this curriculum, I really encourage you to keep building on that, so that you can continue to build up your excitement, your curiosity for this content and for these conversations. So as of right now, I feel very energized after doing the curriculum, and I really think it is a great resource. I really encourage you all to check it out. I think the ebook is on sale right now for like 40% off. So not the course, but the ebook. You can also buy the physical books as well. And like I said earlier in the video, you can actually do a group together through the online course. And so there are so many different options for you to engage in this content, especially at a time right now where life is slowing down and you may have some more time to just build up your own skill set, build up your knowledge. Let's, support some of our people in the faith who are doing really good work to give us access to really critical information, and also to connect us with scholars, theologians, pastors, faith leaders who are really in the nitty-gritty doing this work, and that can help build us up as well. So as I close, make sure that you are supporting the Jude 3 project. All of their information will be in the description box. I really see a lot of great work coming out of this ministry and out of this organization, and we just want to continue to support this work, especially as it's building up the Black Christian community. So thank y'all. As always, follow me on Instagram. Make sure you are subscribing. Let me know in the comments how this video was supported to you. And like I said, I really want to do more videos just going through some of the things that I'm studying and some of the things that are building me up in my alone time with the Lord, especially since we probably gonna be in the house for the next year or so anyway. Just is what it is. So we might as well build up the noggin. So love y'all. Peace. I'm praying for you all. We are going to get through this together.